Going on, guys? One with Last Row Flip. Welcome to solopod 3. I'm in a different environment right now. Not at home, but had to record this and get this out. The setup is kind of funky. Computer's on my lap, and I got an iPad for a side light, and I got my girlfriend next to me. It's okay. I got two. No, I have one light going on me now. Yeah, so we're different environment, a little warm, red background. We'll see how this looks whenever I upload this. Um, but yeah, welcome to solopod 3. Episode 5, technically, of the whole Just Start series. And already off the bat, we've already scrapped one edition of this thing, so let's see if this version's going to be any more palatable. I have three main topics that I want to cover on this episode. Um, yes, let's get into it. First things first. I am one step closer to making one of my dreams that I've had for past 2 years a reality. In the next few months, I'm going to be taking a voyage across the Atlantic, and it's really weird because even though this is something I've been like wanting to do for the past couple of years, I kind of came to the first time that I've really had to do this opportunity, and probably the last time I'm going to be able to do it for a little bit. Um, And even though it's something I wanted to do, it's kind of insane how much kind of persuading I had to do to myself to actually do it. But then I remember just do it. The money's there, so I might as well get it out the way. And like I said, this is going to be like the last time I'm going to be able to do this for a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Um, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I have a few ideas of things that I really want to do in terms of like projects I have in line up in my mind for this thing right now. Um, I've been watching a lot of different creators, and I'm really inspired to make the most out of this trip. There's going to be a lot of different parts, and I guess the challenge is going to be recording those things while I'm actually in the moment, and not forgetting to actually be in the moment, or not forgetting to record. Because I feel like there's a few things where I really want to do, a few things that, like very specific things that I really want to do, and it's going to be hard to do both. We'll see how that works out. I'll figure out a way to get that done because I have. It's gonna be short stuff, maybe just a cool couple pieces, but I think it'll be really cool when I get that figured out how to do that. So yeah, like I said, I'm a few months out, just under 2 months out, and I'm excited. I'm excited, really. It's gonna be the first trip I'm making by myself. Um, I'm not really sure how it's gonna go. I still have to figure out like the lodging, and I have to figure out how the transportation is going to be going through the rest of the stuff. Um, but it's going to be a journey, and I think a lot of times I guess the first moments whenever you kind of step outside your comfort zone for a little bit in a very big way and do something on your own. Um, Times that I've done that, it's been really good for me. It's really like opened more doors for me than I was considered. And I remember the first time I went to the movies by myself, big moment, really stuck with me. First time I ever like went to a restaurant by myself, really, really stuck with me. First time I did yeah, jump ships, it was big for me. I mean, yeah, I mean this is gonna be really big. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Um, so yeah, 2 months, and we'll see how that goes. And maybe I'll touch back up on this in 2 weeks whenever I get the next when we get the next solo pod out. And then yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Yeah, that's topic one. Topic two. Blender. I don't know if you're familiar with Blender. Blender is an open source 3D kind of modeling, animation, rendering software, also used for 2D animation. It's pretty intense. And ever since I upgraded my hardware, Blender's been a huge goal of mine to kind of understanding that and building different worlds and stuff. I have always, this is going to sound kind of nuts, but I think playing a lot of like Minecraft growing up and playing like in the Fortnite creative kind of build thing. Like I've been super into like making my own things for quite some time. So this was kind of like kind of only made sense ever since I back in 2020, 2021, I saw people uploading a lot of stuff. And honestly, I was super inspired. I think, I think his first kind of his first kind of the piece that kind of that got him off like into like the stratosphere was like the everydays. And ever since, I mean, that's even the name of my file on my computer, like where I put all the stuff where I'm making is everydays. And it's they haven't been every day for sure, but I mean, it's just testament to how much that guy really has kind of spoken to what I want to do. So yeah, I mean, Blender has been a goal of mine for quite some time, and it's been at least since 2021, so like 4 years now. And I finally upgraded the computer to that can actually handle it, and now we're here. So we'll see how that process is going. Um, Understanding it has taken a lot of mental real estate, and I feel like I'm slowly getting down the baseline fundamentals. Like I think that right now I can make like a square, um, and it comes with a cube, and I'm able to like kind of make it a. I'm playing with geometry nodes right now and shading nodes, and it's. I've been watching tutorials, and it's really not like intuitive, based on like whatever's going on. Like it's trying to figure out how to move within the software is crazy. I still am really figuring that out right now. I think at this point I need to get a new mouse because it's kind of holding me back a little bit with like maybe more specific numpads and everything like that on the side. This reminds me a lot of like when I was first starting to use Photoshop. It's very overwhelming and there's a lot of different options, a lot of different tools, and if you press the wrong button, like it's like, and I'm still like figuring my way around Photoshop honestly, and Illustrator and everything else in the Adobe like Creative suite, Premiere Pro, After Effects, like it's all very a lot. It's a lot to kind of handle all at once. So, especially working in Blender, where there's like it's open source, so you kind of have to go find the stuff that you want to make. And I think the typical kind of starting point is the donut that people do, but I skipped over that, and now I'm doing different things and trying to make stuff look decent. And I have kind of a project that I'm working on right now, and the first one is done, but I think as I'm working on the second part of it, there's gonna be like 8 or 9 different parts. I think like I'm about to go back and do the first one again at some point, but I'm gonna keep on pushing through. And working on the second one is it's still very difficult, but I think we're gonna have a better idea as to how this is gonna go soon. It's taking a lot of energy, a lot of focus, a lot of like resources, and a lot of time. Um, a lot of time. I think like I said, I'm really just getting on the fundamentals right now, but it's gonna be months, years before I actually really feel like I get this thing down into a position where I feel like I know what I'm doing with this thing. Um, yeah, it's it's taking a lot of trying to figure things out. The thing that has helped me though is AI has helped me a lot to gather the resources that I need to learn more about this. I've been using a lot of like ChatGPT, kind of like asking it questions, and it's kind of become the new and maybe better Google, I think. Um, and I don't think it's like crazy to say that. I think a lot of people are using AI these days. It's been really helpful, really useful. Has been really like gassing me up. And I had like kind of toned that down a little bit, but overall, it's a pretty good like kind of source. I guess the one thing that does kind of concern me is that I feel like there's maybe like a leaning into like maybe an overdependence on AI, and that kind of leaves me feeling a little less confident in my own investigating skills. Because like you just asked a question, it sources everything and it brings you everything that thinks is relevant based on the context of what you're talking about, and it's like that's cool. Um, Maybe it's not so important to be able to do that right now. Maybe it is, but I think that. At least the self-awareness of that makes me feel better about it. Um, but like I said, I don't want to get to a point where my brain is just mush because I don't know how to think for myself, and I can't like fact check myself. Which kind of brings me to my next point is just AI in general. It's no joke that AI has come for a lot of different markets, and I think there's a lot of different factors whenever I'm thinking about AI and its place in this world and my place within this world with AI. Um, it's very obvious that AI is here to stay, and it's very scary. But trying to resist or avoid integration is just gonna leave you behind and frustrated. So, um, I'm gonna like I think that there's some really cool stuff you can do with AI, and I think it's really helpful. It's a tool, and I don't think that like that's really anybody's really arguing that. I mean, I'm sure there probably is, but I think it's a useful tool, and I think it's gonna be it's very much the next thing, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm on board with this thing and not being left behind. So really cool things you can do with AI. Obviously, you can use it as uh, a source, like a search engine. You can use it as like kind of asking it kind of different questions, like a logistical thinking partner. You can use it to like plan your schedule. You can use it to generate random images, or you can use it to you know plot the best course for a marathon or whatever you want to do. It's a really good tool. Um, One thing it is, I mean, it like, and that's like really cool, but it also is pretty concerning. You kind of have your um it is like kind of generating the best kind of response, and I think that it leads you to where you might find everyone else. So thinking outside of that box is going to be very important in the future, but getting to know how to use that box, the tool in general that builds the box, that's going to be super useful because like if you want to play outside of the game, you got to know the rules and how it goes and why the rules work the way they do. So one thing I'm really interested though is there's some really cool stuff you can do with AI. Like I said, and it's really easy to dismiss it, but I mean it's a tool that gives people the ability to join circles that they would have previously been excluded from. Here's some really cool images I found online. I'm gonna link like the people who are doing them and their accounts and everything like that. And think what you may about it. And I'm not thinking of making AI like a permanent part of like how I'm going about my art, or not the main kind of way I'm going about it. But I think it's really important to think about how other people think that this could help them express themselves, and there might be a market for it in its own regard. This is now like kind of like instead of like the limitations of like how much time you put into your art, like what now we're looking more like what are the bounds of your imagination truly, and how can I get a script to get me there. This is so different from taking time and dedicating time to master a craft and really become an expert in your field, and taking like years of your life to paint or to sculpt or to write poetry or anything like that. I think it's important to know that AI doesn't have its own perspective. It's just a collecting database and everything that it doesn't have a perspective. It's just you know information. Um, but like how can you use it is going to be the best thing. And you can't compare the way that stuff that people are creating with AI to people who are taking time and really um, learning how to do their skill. It's like comparing apples to oranges, really. Still, I think it's a very interesting form of self-expression. Um, I think if you're creative and you want more control over the final product and what you're looking at, it's definitely a good idea to learn how to use. Um, it's definitely a better idea to know how to do it than to rely on LLM to generate your product for you. But I think as baseline, it's at the very least, it's great for use as a reference point or blueprint or template or whatever you want to use it as. The question is how to go from there and import you into it and your selling points or selling points or talking points or skills or anything like that to make it your own. Because um, yeah, I mean it's its own thing. But like I said, as its own thing, it's a very interesting form of self-expression. I think the question then becomes, how do I use it to effectively integrate it into my life and help me get further along than I am right now? Um, it's a tool. It's a tool, and how are you willing to use it? How are you willing to kind of figure out what it's doing and everything without letting it take over your life and without losing your critical thinking skills? I think right now for me, the best thing that this is going to do for me is exploring how to use it to save time for the most important things that I need to do. And if you think about it, this is how the biggest companies have been selling for quite some time. Amazon, I mean, they brought about Prime, and that gets you just about anything you can think of at a fraction of the time and energy spent that you could have used otherwise. You no longer have to go to the stores and go find out what like, what's the best product or testing it out for yourself. Here we have a whole list of reviews, a whole lot of like the fastest way to get it to you within 2 days. You're no longer waiting all this time, and you have like a bunch of resources to get your money back if anything, and it's people buy that for a reason. Uber, you save time booking a ride and you gain a sense of security knowing who you're riding with and their track history. You're not putting a lot of stuff. You're kind of minimizing the risk possible with that while also saving time and you can plan stuff ahead and everything like that. At the point of your fingertips and it's people like that. Netflix. They're saving you time going to theater and being able to skip around with movies. And if you don't like the movie, you don't have to waste your time doing it. Like all these companies, the biggest companies, are selling you your time and at a price. And I think that's what the next big thing is going to be is how is AI going to save you time? And I see that with a lot of different products that people are out there with like Notion, and they're using AI to kind of generate their own calendar, and they get their time back, and that's the most ideal way to do it. Um, And I guess it's like with other things, every company, if they're doing something, they've incorporated AI into their thing. Some companies are doing it differently, like Duolingo, where they're kind of trying to transition away from pretty much all of their their workers and stuff, and trying to make that their whole kind of future um, market, I guess. Like they're using it at a higher rate than a lot of other things, and the companies who are trying to stay out of the loop, but I mean, I think the longer you stay out of the loop, the worse off you're going to be. So, like I said, I'm trying to incorporate this in myself into my stuff, and we'll see how I'm able to make it work. I think this is like the new .com boom, honestly. Like, there's a lot of stuff popping up right now. Everybody wants a piece of the pie, and there's plenty of pie to have right now. But like, um, at some point, we're going to be coming back with like diminished returns, and people are going to be not so happy with like what's there's gonna be 1,000 iterations of whatever you want. But like it's gonna be a bubble and like it's at some point it's gonna pop and you're gonna have like five different things that stick around really that are gonna be the things that people really, gravitate towards. Uh I mean you said that like with the .com bubble, there was like, the crypto bubble, everything popped off and like now we're really down to like two or three like really main cryptos. Everything like that. So um the thing we really gotta think about is there's a lot like I said, there's a lot of people building things. And I mean, I'm looking for a way out of like this whole thing, like the whole um like rat race, and I'm trying to like figure out how to do this. But the thing I keep seeing and someone crosses, you got to build your own thing. You got to build your own thing, and you got to like find people who want it, and they're willing to pay for it. So beyond just my use of this platform as like a creative expression, like there's a lot of things that I really want to do, and I'm looking to make a way for myself in this field. So like I gotta build something that's gonna last, something that's real, and that's my goal at this point. With Last Real Flip, I'm just exploring different options right now with what I want this to be specifically. I know I talked about design studio or brand agency. I'm not really sure, and I'm diving into the specifics with that, trying to like use AI when necessary to find the problems, the answers to the questions that I have. And along the way, like I'm not shying away from the rest of this stuff. It's gonna be a challenge, and it's been a challenge so far. But now I think we've done like a lot of the base work, and I think established a vision for what I want this to be. And now the thing is like to go out there and find somebody who really wants to do business together, to really make something that's really gonna be cool, something that's really gonna last. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to do. I want to build something that lasts. So. I'm still learning how I can use this as a weapon in my back pocket, man. I'm still looking to find how this is gonna work for me in the long run. And once I figure that out, I'll follow up on these thoughts on AI and more about the thoughts that I'm having like on my brand, on my business, and everything like that. But Yeah, I think things are going great right now. This podcast should be up. If it's up on May 9th, then I did something right and I figured something out a little bit more. And next week, I mean, I'm gonna have another guest on here, somebody who I've been like looking up to again for years, somebody I've known for years. Um, and I'm excited. I'm excited, truly. So if this one's up on the May 9th, the next one is up on May 16th. That's 4 weeks. Um, and then and I can say I've got something up, but something I can say. Maybe I push for 6 weeks to be like up, but I mean, hey, it's up. I mean, this one's up on May 9th. Next one's up May 16th. Next one up is on May 23rd, and then I'll need to find other guests for the next one, and then we're good. And we just keep the ball rolling. Definitely the hardest part of this thing so far was getting started. Definitely kind of putting myself out there and being like, hey, I'd love to have you on the podcast. Are you interested? Could we talk? I'd love to talk about like what you got going on. I love your stuff. And that's really hard. That's really hard. Even getting, pressing record for the first time was really hard. Um, really difficult. Um, and like kind of going through with it even more difficult. But I mean, it feels good to really kind of continue this thing and really push the thing forward. I mean, I'm running out of time here. 22 minutes is going to be the goal. Um, yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you please subscribe. I'd love to have you stick around. I'd love to talk to you a little bit more into the future me. I hope this is going well for you. I know it's going to be some rough patches in there, but stay the course. Hey, 2 months, 2 months, and I'll have some more stuff to talk about. And I don't know how I'm gonna deal with the time in there, but we'll figure it out. Um, until then, have a great time. Thanks for watching. I love you.